Okay. This is going to be the last piece of tech cards. If there are any other cards that come out in for Prism, they're going to be their own thing, and I'll do them like one by one and talk about them because they're probably going to be expansion slot cards. So, or well, maybe not. We'll see. But yeah, this is the last one. This is generics or non Prism cards, quote unquote, cards that were not designed with Prism in mind, or cards that like OG Prism didn't play. So this is stuff like Command and Conquer. This is definitely a card that like has seen play, and there's probably been good metas for it. London, I think, was a decent meta for it with Aurora. Zen meta was also pretty good for it, just because Zen they put their power card in Arsenal. It's not great, but you could also Goliath Gauntlet it, and a lot of people were running Goliath Gauntlet so that like Zen has to at least give you a card and can't just shove the fridge in front of it and then kill you in response. But it is kind of just good stuff. Good stuff. Deck. Like Command and Conquer is just a good card. People are going to put their powerful cards in Arsenal. You can then threaten it. This can't be popped. This is fine as a 2-card hand. This is fine as a 4-card hand as your second Herald, quote unquote. Especially like if your first Herald like got blocked out and you wrathed it, and then you send the Command and Conquer, and then they have to defend their Arsenal, and you're still going to get an Angel. Like the play patterns on it are pretty good. I don't think it's super necessary, especially at the moment. I think maybe back in Zen meta it looked a little bit better, but I think we also had more powerful things we could do in that meta because we just had Tome. Against like Aurora with Serenade, post Armory deck, this was a much more interesting card, especially for kind of once all their armor was gone. This was a card they still kind of had to respect because taking their arsenal was worth something. And they were, I think most Auroras still ran D-Reacts, but it's just a good card. It's a totally fine card. If a deck is faster than us, this can help slow them down and buy us some time. It's not far off rate for a 2-cost 6-power Herald equivalent. So a yellow Herald. This always has to be your last attack for the turn. Luminaris Angel's Glow can't give it go again, which is fine. But it's fine. It's good. If a deck is faster than us, this can help slow them down so that then we can like overturns, especially a deck like Aurora that has a massive fridge that is easily able to block out all of our heralds. Once that fridge is gone, this again becomes more impactful. They also can't just choose to let the second herald hit on a turn. Like this is going to take a card from them if they do usually. But I don't think it's ever made it into one of my lists, but Command and Conquer is just a good card. It's a good card. It's fine. And I do think the meta has to be faster than Prism for it to be good. And I don't think this being around PT Singapore time, I don't think this is the meta for that. I think I just want to be Heralds all the way through. I think those numbers are still just insane. So to pair with it, we don't have Tunic, but Pummel. I did talk about this a decent bit in the Angelic Wrath video, but yellow is fine. Yellow Pummel is totally fine. It's flexible enough. It does the thing. You're going to force a Herald to hit. It's going to do the thing. You're going to trade 2 cards for one of their cards, which puts you the same rate as Wrath. It's a little bit greedier of a yellow Wrath. If they have the D-React, because you're not doing this on Command and Conquer, presumably you could. The cost curve isn't great for you to do it on Command and Conquer, though. Wartune, no. Wartune that gets blocked out into Command and Conquer into Pummel is a 5-card hand off a yellow and a blue pitch. Okay, that's not bad, actually. It's still a greedier yellow Wrath if they have the D-React, and they can D-React this for 3 if they have that. All you got are the Assassin ones that mark, the hunted ones, excuse me, that mark. The yellow gets covered by it. I don't want to run red. You could run blue as your pay for footsteps. Always pay for footsteps and send a second Herald. But then I don't know if your damage presentation gets a little weird. It being 2 cost is not irrelevant. It means as your red count goes up, Pummel gets harder to use just because if you have double red Herald in the hand and you have yellow Pummel and you get popped, you're in a bad spot. So like maybe blues. That being said, I still think yellow Pummel is better than red Wrath. Yeah. I still don't like Red Wrath, but Yellow Pummel at least can pay for a second Herald, and then Blue Pummel can pay for Footsteps and another Herald. Um, so honestly, the answer might be Blue if you're gonna run Pummel. Um, but yeah, Prismatic Leyline. I don't know. This card hasn't seen. I know a couple people still really like it. I know Dozer still really likes Prismatic Leyline. It's a cute card. Um, I think it is at its best in mono rapture lists. These are lists that are trying to take that when they're in an aura matchup, they try to take the game long and essentially just run the opponent out of D reacts and poppers and just say your blocks are going to be so inefficient that you cannot stop me eventually. And what happens is you're going to pitch Prismatic Leyline around, and then in late game, you're going to have only like blue heralds and yellow heralds left because those are the other cards you've been pitching. And then you get to go Prismatic Leyline, yellow herald for 8, blue herald for 8. And that's hitting, which means you're getting to do the thing then. Because you want them out of armor, you want them out of good block cards, out of D reacts, and out of poppers at that point. And Prismatic Leyline is really not bad when it gets to that point. It kind of fixes some of your stuff because like you get down to it, and if you only have yellow heralds and blue heralds, and they have a hand that blocks 11, you need a Wrath. Otherwise, you're never going to get over. And if you like just go Herald Pierce Reality to try and get around it, it's not going to work. So like the setups for Prismatic Leyline are not bad if you're on a mono Rapture plan and you're playing into like Florian and you can get it to that game state. Prismatic Leyline does some really interesting stuff. It does. It's never ended up in my list because I haven't ended up on mono Rapture, but the game plans with it, the way it fits into game plans, is actually really interesting. And I've had it in the back of my head for so long, and it's just like, I don't need it. I'm doing other stuff that I think is still powerful and fits the deck a little bit better. But like, it's an interesting card. It fits into the deck in a really neat way because it's just a yellow 3 block. Like, just putting like 2 of these in your deck, if you're on a mono Rapture list, I can see it. Especially like against Verdance right now, maybe. Like Verdance this might be pretty good against Verdance. I'm not sure. If you're trying to mono Rapture, which I don't know is the best against Verdance, I think I just want to go auras. But yeah, yeah, you cycle this around so easily. Makes yellows and blues harder to block. Whoops. But and that's just like huge. That's so huge because if you're getting down to if you're just going to trade 4 cards for 4 cards and your heralds aren't hitting, you're going to have problems. And Prismatic Leyline can kind of fix that where it's like 8 into 8, you're going to connect with something. So then they have to present damage back and you get to actually like play the value game that you want to be playing. So, Essence of Ancestry Body. I underestimated this card a lot. It fits into the play patterns of a Herald aggro plan very well. In that it lets you get into 4-card cycle, or get from a 4-card hand into a 5-card cycle very easily. You send a Herald, you play Essence, and then you arsenal your card. And Essence is going to eat minimum like 4 value. I think it was definitely at its best in London against Aurora. It like showed up so much. Like I thought about it before London and I just didn't commit to the testing time. And I'm really, really upset at myself that I didn't. Because Leo did and the card looked great. And I tried it later and I was like, no, 3 of instantly. It does increase your red count, but it's an artificial increase because it's a 0 cost. I don't think I actually like count it towards the red count of the deck in that like red heralds play differently because they cost 1 or 2. It's the card just works super well. It lets you block out turns so efficiently, especially against a deck like Aurora. This could be a card against Briar in LL. Maybe not as much, depending on how tall versus wide they go. If they're more on a ball lightning plan, it could be better. But if they're on an earth plan, where it's very much non-attack, attack, Rosetta Thorn, it maybe isn't as good. But like this is a very interesting card, and it fits into the play patterns a lot better. I might do a video just on this now that I'm thinking about it, because I feel like I can't go over all of them right now. But like, just the biggest one is just a 4-card hand. You send a Herald, it has go again. You play Essence, and you arsenal your last card to set up a 5-card hand. Or you can just block down with 3 cards in late game, play Essence, it eats 2 attacks basically, and then you give up 2 cards, and then you get to send a Herald back. Like, it's so good. Or like, even just that plan where it's like you have an Angel out and you have Essence out, and you can block with a card to cover a 4, Essence triggers, eats another 4, Angel eats another 4, and then you have presumably 4 cards with which to hit them. Like, if you have a War Tune curve off that, fantastic. The card is super good. Yeah, it combines so well with Angels too, because like, you get to choose the effects. It doesn't like lose or you get to choose the ordering of the effects. Excuse me. You don't lose the Essence effect if the Angel is out. There is one thing to be aware of, and I'm pretty sure this is the way it works, and I think most people are not aware of it. If you have an Essence of Ancestry body out, and you block with an Aura card, you block with a blue Spectra, or you block with another Essence. If the Essence pops, you control an Illusionist Aura, I'm pretty sure. If you are blocking with an Illusionist Aura. I'm pretty sure. Because it recognizes that it is Illusionist, and it recognizes that it is an Aura, because otherwise cards like Cut Through the Facade wouldn't, the text for you can't block with Aura cards wouldn't work. And it is a card you control. So it is an Illusionist Aura that you control, even though it's not in the arena as an Aura. I'm pretty sure it satisfies the conditions, because also just cards you control, any defending card on the combat chain is a card you control. So it doesn't say if you have no other Illusionist Auras in the arena or alive in the arena or some other text, it is control. So I think my understanding is that if you have an Essence in play and you block with another Essence, or you block with a Spectra, you will not get the prevention effect if that card is still a defending card on the chain, because you control another Aura, if the Essence breaks while they're still there. If I'm wrong about this, please correct me, but this is my understanding, and the way it reads, that makes sense to me. Sink Below and other defense reactions. Shelter kind of in particular. I think Shelter actually gets higher priority than Sink Below. It's just the flexibility of the card is great. It's effectively a blue against a lot of the arcane decks that are pings of 1 usually. And then it's still just a 4. And the sink isn't huge. The deck is relatively consistent, where I wouldn't miss the sink effect if I just had the shelters instead. They're just good value cards. They are at their best in a meta that is a low popper meta. So they were good against Aurora. Shelter in particular, very good against Aurora. But if you can go send a Herald for 7, threaten the on hit, and that's a 2-card 11, and then you have 2 D-Reacts for 4 each, that's a 4-card 19. That's very good. So like, if the meta's right for it, I've thought about like a sort of mid-rangey Prism, but you have to have so few poppers in that meta for that to be efficient, for that to work, where you want that slower game plan, and I'm not sure that there ever really actually is that meta, because I just want to push my offensive rate as much as I can. Now, that being said, against a deck like Aurora, where we need to buy the 2 or 3 turns to chew through their armor, I can see these working, because we want to extend the game just those like 1 or 2 turns to where they can't just raw outvalue us because they get to stop all of our on hits. So they have their place, but I think they're a little more niche than I would hope for them actually to be, because I'd actually love to just be able to play these like main deck. But yeah, Riches of Tropal Dhani. I need to work with this card more. It does a lot of little things for the deck. The Aura plan, it's fantastic. It's just +1 resource when Vestige is online. It's filtering, looking for extra threats. You can just pitch a Figment away and get a different card. Especially like if you've already pitched Light of Soul, you can pitch to the gold, draw the card that you know is on top. It's just great. Having that one extra resource on a Shariah ALS Genesis pivot is huge. It's so nice to have. It's great. The card's good. In the Herald Aggro plan, you're going to pitch this at some point earlier just because it's a yellow. Like there is very low opportunity cost for it. And then you're going to later, if you draw a hand that's like red, red, blue, blue, you can pitch the blue, crack a gold. If you hit a yellow, you just went +1 resource on that turn. And it's going to be great. That hand is now fantastic, by the way, with any 2-cost red heralds. Like, it's so good. If you draw a hand with 1 herald, you can just pitch presumably a Figment away to that gold and then get it. It is legendary keyworded. I honestly might run more than one if I had the ability to run like multiples, then I would actually be more interested. But it's, yeah, Riches is just good. It does a lot of little things. It's a lot of hand fixing in both plans. It's a little bit of deck velocity. If you ever get like 2 or 3 gold just because like you keep shuffling and like pitching it back, it's just like that can just be crazy on its own. It's a relatively low opportunity cost. It's another yellow for us that we're just happy to pitch. No block isn't a thing to me. I'm not worried about it. It's not a criteria that I look at on my Prism cards. That's not part of the plan. It's not. I need to work with it more. I have some math that I want to do on it to like determine how good it is, at least in the aggro plan. The aura plan seems a lot harder to do the math on. But the aggro plan, I think I can do some decent math on and figure out how good it is in the aggro plan. The aura plan, it's too nonlinear. But yeah, the card is interesting. It's good. I don't fault anyone for running it. I'm not sure I want it in the deck. I think there might be better things to do, but I don't necessarily know it for sure. But we got a third Fabled. What am I going to say? But yeah, that's the last of it for now. That's the last tech card chunk. Hopefully the written primer is coming out. I'm recording this a little bit before, and hopefully the written primer is coming out soon, now that we're mostly through all of this, and I'm going to start doing a lot more of the matchup breakdowns. Because I need to do some heavy analysis on the matchups going into Singapore, so I'm going to switch to that next, post-Singapore, and there should be some gameplay reviews from some Nats games coming up soon as well, or should already be up. Probably already are up, or went up with this. Yeah. So, stuff to do. Thank you for watching. I apologize that these were so spaced out and took as much time as they did, but it's a lot of information in my head, it feels like. So, yeah. With that, peace.